Okay, here we go. Let's learn about the I think locked room murder, from what I would say, because I've actually watched a little bit of Case Closed recently, which is known as, oh god, what's it known as? It's like Detective Conan outside of the United States, but in the United States it's called Case Closed. It's this anime based off of a long-running manga, and basically there's a lot of murder mysteries, and what I think a locked room murder is when somehow there's a victim in a room that supposedly is sealed off, and there's no way that someone could have murdered and escaped, right? So same thing here. We find a body in a room with the doors barred. Obviously, the murderer couldn't have left and then barred it from the inside, so how is this possible, right? So, okay, let's see.
That's fine.
There's 4 basic types. The first is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed, okay? This simply means the killer commits the crime and then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism, and there's a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second time is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh.
In other words,
basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through the gap in the door. Something like that. In this case, maybe it was poison. Maybe she got bonked on the head and she sat down, right, in order to recuperate, and then she just died from poison or something.
However,
in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we could probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
they stay hidden, and when the door's open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. Well, that sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it actually wasn't a locked room at all. Not a locked room.
In other words,
by that I mean there was an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. Ah! You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Do you think we could cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there's 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during the trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Well, what do we got? What is this? It looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
That's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her, and I thought it might help her calm down a little. You gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure no one else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much?
I mean...
Well, I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself, and that's why I gave it to her. But now they're all lost. They've lost all their flavor. Hina. So a polka dot candy wrapper. I get the feeling we're gonna have to go to her room and see what kind of candy this is. I see a lot of stuff going on here. We've got... What is this stuff behind it? What is that? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle. So this was originally been a bottle. Okay, a red bottle. Of course, you know where it's going to be from that 4th floor chem lab. There's something else on the ground near the glass. What the hell? It's a figure fits in the palm of my hand. It's Monokuma holding a chess piece. Figure on the floor has been added to the truth bullets. What the hell was that? Oh, look! There's blood. There's blood stain on front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far from where she died? Okay. What about the shelf itself? The same shelf full of magazines, okay. Oh, look! This is where the bottle came from. 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And it's got the Monokuma figurines inside. In fact, wait a minute, there's 2 bottles missing. Huh, okay. What I'm wondering is how did they get those figures inside the bottles?
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
This is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Okay, and there's 2 missing. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure on the ground. And the red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that, so I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. What is going on with this locker? Look. The locker's open and on the inside, handprints.
Why?
What is a handprint doing in here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
It looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding in here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. Aha, so then, maybe the killer hidden here until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Oh, why not?
Hey.
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Yeah, and the locker was already open at that point. Ah.
Indeed.
So, there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? So, it sounds to me this is how they got her. She came into the room, right? She came into the room, and someone was hiding in there, snuck out, grabbed the bottle, bonked her on the head, but it doesn't explain the vomiting of blood, which is probably poison. I think that's all the evidence. 1, 2, 3... Oh, I didn't look at the body yet. Duh. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in the chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her, but according to the Monokuma file, she had already vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Alright, how about this? Now, how's this for a theory? She's already dead and dying. She's already poisoned. And she's thinking, because she was the spy for Monokuma or whatever, maybe this is the best way to go about it. I don't know. Maybe she's poisoning herself. Who knows, right? Someone wanted to kill her. Someone was intending to kill her. But they grabbed the bottle, they bonked her on the head, but she was already dead. So technically they didn't kill her. Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. There's misdirection here. You think that they killed her, but they didn't. She was already poisoned. So the real killer may be Sakura. Maybe she was poisoning herself, or maybe someone was poisoning her. We don't know. See, maybe her getting hit on the head caused her to vomit blood. I don't know about that. Not a chance. Yakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I called it interesting. But it does make me wonder, the reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Yakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her. Do you know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me, she said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon. The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry and that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by force even, this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Alright, we got her account. The fact that she had asked those 3 to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place that she actually ended up dying, might be good to confirm what I just heard with the 3 of them directly. So I've got to talk to all 3 of them.
However...
Well, for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly wouldn't, or didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly they wouldn't have needed to if they expected to stand any chance. If they had expected to stand any chance against her. Bleh. Okay, so I guess we gotta talk to Byakuya now and confirm if what we were just told is true.